All right, Cooks. I know there's a lot of videos on this whole main event situation, but let's be real. This is the most interesting thing happening in wrestling right now, and that speaks volumes, right? That tells us exactly what we need to know. And what we need to know, Cooks, is that for better or for worse, there's hype around this WrestleMania. Now, with that being said, we're going to talk about how the WWE and whoever's in charge, if we are to tolerate Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns, how they completely screwed the fan base, right? We haven't talked about that part right here. Now, there's a subset of fans, of course, that are happy, and not everyone can be happy all the time. I understand that, right? But there's a big difference, Cucks. There's a big difference whether you're going to push Mustafa Ali and he gets injured and you just give it to Kofi Kingston. There's a big difference between, Eddie Guerrero was going to win the Royal Rumble, but he died, so it's going to be Rey Mysterio. There is a big, big difference. And the truth is, for better or for worse, you can cut it however you want to cut it. The Rock and Roman Reigns was a legit and is a legit, I don't want to say dream match because it's a little overplayed and nobody ever dreamed of this, but it is a match that needs to happen, right? It's basically this. It's a match. Remember when Roman Reigns won the Rumble and he eliminated Rusev? That's when this whole story started. The Rock helped him survive and helped him eliminate Rusev, and they celebrated together, right? This was Roman's first real crack at the title, right? Like this was like the beginning of him trying to be champion. And with that being said, the underpinnings already were, oh my God, what if one day he wrestles The Rock? And the general consensus was, there's not enough time for Roman. There's not enough overlap of time for Roman to become great enough to wrestle The Rock, right? Like we don't know where this kid's gonna go, right? But the truth is, he did become that great because he was booked and pushed very hard, right? So with that being said, what is the point of pushing Roman Reigns this much if he's gonna lose to Cody, right? It doesn't make any sense. In my opinion, Roman Reigns needs to win again. The heat on him is going to be unbelievable once he does this. Cody Rhodes, if Cody Rhodes gets his second WrestleMania title shot, he doesn't deserve to win the championship. I know he will at this point. It's like axiomatic. Of course it's going to happen at some point, but he doesn't deserve it, right? It's like, how many times do they have to put Roman Reigns above Cody Rhodes for us to finally accept that Cody Rhodes is just a B-plus player? But in this whole circle jerk, what happened is the WWE and the powers that be took something from us, right? They didn't take from us something stupid like, Brock Lesnar won the Money in the Bank and not Mustafa Ali. I could give a shit about Mustafa Ali. Nobody ever cared about Mustafa Ali. But people did care. They did care about The Rock versus Roman Reigns. And unlike the other examples that I just mentioned, both involving Mustafa Ali, Kofi Kingston's push, as well as Brock Lesnar winning the Money in the Bank. These things don't matter. And you know why they don't matter? I'll explain to you why they don't matter. Because at the end of the day, they were based around injuries, right? So even if Mustafa Ali had a great following, it's like, what can you do? He's injured. You know what I'm saying? He's injured. He can't do it. He can't win the title, if that was ever the plan, or to give him like the Kofi moment where like he does well. I don't think they were going to make Mustafa Ali the champion, but I think the idea was they were going to put Mustafa Ali in the Elimination Chamber and have him have the Kofi Kingston run. And presumably, the same thing would have happened. We would, instead of Kofi Mania, we would have had like Ali Mania, right? So, presumably, right? So maybe this would have led to Mustafa Ali being the world champion, which would have been like easily the worst champion of all time. But that's not here nor there. The point is, that was based on injury. This is based on choice. And the argument is, I know that there's a payoff here somewhere, right? But the argument is, why do this, right? Why introduce the possibility of one of the biggest matches in WWE history to then replace it with last year's main event? It would be, and I'm being generous here, Cucks, let's say after the first WrestleMania match that Taker and Shawn Michaels had together, right? Let's say Undertaker wins, but Shawn Michaels is not retired because he has that 1 year left, right? And then let's just say that the story, quote unquote, is being built up. Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, let's see what happens, right? And then somewhere down the line, Sting decides to join the WWE, right? Now, people have always said that Sting versus Taker is a dream match. I tend to agree. That would have been sick because they're both like big. Undertaker's bigger, but Sting's big and strong. In his 40s, this would have been a great match. They'd both be in their 40s. It would have been fantastic. They could even do tombstones to each other. They could do a little tombstone counter. They could do that. It would have been a great match, right? It would have been a lot of great moments, like Undertaker getting up and no selling a move, and Sting doing like the Sting no sell where he flexes, right? It would have been great. So people would have been like, all right, we love Shawn Michaels, and once again, I'm being generous. Shawn Michaels is Shawn Michaels, and Cody Rhodes is mid-card Cody. It's not the same thing. Shawn Michaels is a legit main eventer. He's had 2 Hall of Fame careers, as far as I'm concerned, right? But even then, I think people would be like, all right, well, we saw Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels, which is not a dream match because we've seen it before, but we just saw it, right? So it's like, what are we going to see now, right? What are we going to see? It's actually very, very similar, the scenario, because it's 2 matches, right? Happening back to back, Taker and Michaels, and Cody and Roman. And even though Roman Reigns doesn't have a streak, he has the title, which is essentially a streak in and of itself now, right? And that's the argument. The idea was like, well, if Undertaker retires Shawn Michaels and keeps his streak intact, then the streak becomes even that more special, right? So don't be surprised if Roman Reigns beats Cody. Maybe The Rock interferes, who knows, right? But the point is, why are you doing this, right? Why are you teasing us with what essentially is a dream match at WrestleMania 40, only to pull the rug and make it be Cody versus Roman? Now, again, I will acknowledge that there are people that prefer Cody Rhodes over The Rock in the main event. And I get it. I think it's stupid, but I understand where they're coming from. I'm not completely against it either. You know, like some people have to be sad, some people have to be happy. It's okay if I'm sad, if other fans are happy. I get that too. But here's the difference, right? Not only is The Rock versus Roman a dream match main event, right? But the truth is, as I've been saying, that Cody Rhodes is a mid-carder, right? And okay, now it might feel good for those fans. But when they inevitably turn on Cody for the next flash-in-the-pan superstar, right? And let's say 5 years, 10 years go by, and I'm in my 40s, probably still making videos, cucks. What happens then, right? I'll tell you what happens then. We look back at this as a missed opportunity. I don't care if The Rock versus Roman Reigns happens at WrestleMania 41, unless it's for the world title and Roman Reigns stays champion for another year, which is a possibility, right? But even then, there's something magical about WrestleMania 40, right? Either way, it doesn't matter because Roman Reigns is going to win. And I guess he would win at the next WrestleMania too if it's against The Rock, so that's a bit out there. But the truth is, if we think about this, you know, in the most reasonable and logical way, I really do believe, and I think most people that are reasonable would agree, that in hindsight, this is going to go down as a bad decision, right? It's going to go down as a bad, whimsical decision that led to nothing. It's not going to lead to any increase in anything. No one's going to give a damn, right? It's going to be like Kofi Mania, right? Where I know people have fond memories. So I remember the time Kofi became champion. But let's be real. That is a wasted WrestleMania moment, right? Cody Rhodes, Kofi Kingston. I'm not saying they're bad wrestlers. I mean, I think they kind of suck. But, they're better than mid, right? Like, Kofi Kingston has a Hall of Fame resume at this point, right? He's been around for a fucking eternity. So I get that. I'm not against Kofi Kingston or Cody Rhodes even. But the truth is that when it all is said and done, right? Kofi Kingston had his match with Daniel Bryan, who was essentially an upper mid-carder, even though he was champion. That was not the real championship in that one, right? That was like the mid-card title. Then what happened, right? We moved on. Kofi Kingston had that one meaningful feud with Randy Orton, and then after that, he got squashed by Lesnar, and back to the tag team and mid-card it is for Kofi. He's done absolutely nothing since then except win a couple of tag team titles and have meaningless feuds with the likes of Imperium, right? So that's why it's a wasted opportunity. WrestleMania is not just to give people a moment. WrestleMania is to also build new stars. And if Cody is a star, you wouldn't need to build him again, right? So there you go. He would have had the championship at some point. He would have done something meaningful this last year. You have to remind me that Cody's good. But you don't have to remind anyone that The Rock is The Rock. And that's the difference. That's why when it's all said and done, people are going to look back at this as a grave mistake by the powers that be in essentially pushing the incorrect wrestler when they had the opportunity to give us a great match, right? Now, here's the other side of the coin. Let's say the plan is to have Rock versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 41. God forbid one of them dies. God forbid one of them is injured. God forbid one of them doesn't want to do it anymore, right? There's a lot of possibilities that could ruin this match. And I understand sometimes you have to book in advance, right? But the most likely scenario is, what if, let's say we have two options. We have the match next WrestleMania, because you have to have that match. They're going to have it at some point, right? You have that match at WrestleMania, and then that's it. Then Roman Reigns moves on. Or you don't have that match at WrestleMania, and you have it at next WrestleMania. Then what? That means you're essentially one WrestleMania behind. Only to have Cody Rhodes versus Roman again. So imagine this. Scenario 1. We have Cody versus Roman. Who cares who wins? Next WrestleMania, we have Roman versus Rock. Who cares who wins, right? Now, what about the 2 years in between, right? Or the extra year that we've placed in there? Imagine the opposite. We have Rock versus Roman this WrestleMania. And then next WrestleMania, we do, and by we I mean WWE, they do whatever the hell they want. Maybe by that time, they've discovered the next Brock Lesnar. Did you ever think about that? And it's time to push this guy to the moon. Maybe Braun Breaker is due for a push. There's a lot of things that can change in 1 year. Not for Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso and the Jobbers, but for a lot of wrestlers, a lot of things change in 1 year. So that's the problem, right? The problem is you're putting yourself one WrestleMania behind. Sometimes you have to do that out of necessity, right? So you're not going to have Shawn Michaels get retired in this first match with Taker. You're not going to have The Rock just wrestle Cena for no reason. You're going to instead have the Rock show up there, right? Do his thing, cost The Rock the match, and then have, the next night, just create the match. Rock versus Cena, 1 year in the making, 1 year of booking, and, you make that about the title because John Cena happens to be the champion, and you go from there, right? Alternatively, you could elongate this for longer, which is what's happening now. And that's not good. And that's something that I don't think anybody wants to see. With that being said, go fuck yourselves.